This program has been brought to you thanks to the generous contributions of our patrons on Patreon. Your patronage is greatly appreciated. And for more content like this, be sure to check out the Modern Alchemist channel on Patreon.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Okay, before we dive into all the extra material that I've provided ahead of this particular class and discuss how all of it relates to this material here, let's go ahead and check out the Kybalion Chapter 2, Section 3, the Principle of Vibration, and see what the Kybalion has to say for itself about this principle. The Principle of Vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that everything is in motion, everything vibrates, nothing is at rest. Facts which modern science endorses, and which each new scientific discovery tends to verify. And yet, this Hermetic principle was enunciated thousands of years ago by the masters of ancient Egypt. This principle explains that the differences between different manifestations of matter, energy, mind, and even spirit result largely from varying rates of vibration. From the all, which is pure spirit, down to the grossest forms of matter. All is in vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position on the scale. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. And at the other end of the scale, there are gross forms of matter whose vibrations are so low as to seem at rest. Between these poles are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration, from corpuscle and electron, atom and molecule, to worlds and universes. Everything is in vibratory motion. This is also true on the planes of energy and force, which are but varying degrees of vibration, and also on the mental planes, whose states depend upon vibrations, and even upon the spiritual planes. An understanding of this principle with the appropriate formulas enables the Hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations, as well as those of others. The masters also apply this principle to the conquering of natural phenomena in various ways. He who understands the principle of vibration has grasped the scepter of power, says one of the old writers. All right, so this is like my favorite part in every story. It's where you get some character who enters in a whole bunch of exposition to let you know what it is that you've just experienced. Well, since October, when we left off in the Kybalion with the principle of correspondence, I have created several videos, and among them, and also directed you to watch certain lectures with the intent of coming right back to all of it at one point and showing you how it all fits together. It started with the fast food alchemy episode, Seeing the Light and Taking a Bite Out of the Mental Universe. In this episode, in this video, I introduce for you the concept that everything around you is an expression of the same thing, but in a different vibratory state. So that when you eat, and it's all light, everything, meaning that it is electromagnetism, light being the electromagnetic spectrum, right? The full spectrum from all the way to X-rays and all the way to microwaves, the whole thing. So all of that it comprises the mental universe, and so that video there was designed to introduce the concept that everything about you, everything that you see and touch and feel, everything that you experience, everything you do is all an expression of a different state of the same thing, which is electromagnetism or light, which ultimately is consciousness. After that, I introduced you to the brilliant John Cleese and a lecture that he had put together on creativity. And the takeaway from this, and this was one of the first episodes of homework for the serious student of alchemy. There are many things to take away from this, but the thing that I appreciate most is the concept of the on-off, like that you have a work mode and you have a play mode. And what he is describing is a different state of vibration. Literally a different state of vibration, so that play mode is a higher vibratory state where your mind is frenetic and it can take in anything. Anything is possible, he says. There's nothing that's wrong. Everything can be thrown into the mix and we can just talk about everything. Well, that's an extraordinarily high vibratory state. And then when all of that is done and all of that creative energy is poured out, then you go into work mode, a lower vibratory state where things are allowed to come together and gel, just exactly like what we see in the physical universe around us. So the things which are high vibratory state are breaking apart and everything is there and all this energy is incorporated into it and it's difficult to contain, and then you move things into a lower vibratory state and there's the stratification. Now, the next video then was on the principle of vibration and cymatics, and that was designed to give you a physical presentation so that you could watch it and look at it and go, aha, this is what the universe looks like at rest. This is what at rest feels like, and that is the state before sound, before vibration is introduced into the medium. And they used different forms of mediums, sands and oils and water and different chemicals, all of which were designed to show you the impact of energy is... What is created is determined by what is touched by the energy which is vibrating it. So the same vibratory energy which makes one thing happen with an oil will look entirely different with the sands in that video. And it's all part of the same process, the same energy. And so a thing's uniqueness then is its initial vibratory state, which is based on its composition. So that was the contribution of that video. Then I introduced the Essentials of Practical Alchemy courses. There are two of them. They're married together. It's about directions, objective directions and the universe, and then the up, down, in, and out, and the demonstration that the universe is fractal. In those two videos, then, what I provide for you is the shape of the universe, and it's like a Russian nesting doll that just layers up and down infinitely, and it is an expression of the same thing. And then there's more, of course, that the idea of these directions show you that the things which are at the highest vibratory state would be at the very center. And so on a universal scale, no matter which direction you are, if you're in the macroverse or the microverse, the farther in towards the center you go towards a thing, the higher the vibratory state. So as we go into the microscopic and we look at the quantum universe, where we have atoms and molecules, and that these things vibrate, and that the composition of these atoms and molecules are very likely to be fields of energy that are vibrating at a state which then gives them the substance of this is an atom, this is an electron, right? This is a proton. And that these ideas then translate both down and up. When you go up and into it, things are at a much higher state of vibration, because as we're getting into the smaller, things are moving a lot faster. And that works going out into the macroverse too, so that our lives are measured against the lives of stars and planets, which are hundreds of thousands of billions of years older than we can imagine, right? They're just these ancient objects in space. And that their composition, that their lives, we are quick. We measure in a quick flash, a blink, by comparison to the duration of their time. So that was the idea there, and that understanding that going inward is going towards the spirit, and going outward is going towards the material, and that all of it is the same thing, just in different states of vibration. It all is still the same thing. It is all still the all, okay? But the all breaking itself apart into unique units, which then all look back upon itself. It's so amazing when you think about that. That the thing that makes you, you, or makes me, me, the thing that separates us apart from birds and blades of grass and trees and my dog, the thing that distinguishes us is nothing more than the state of vibration as a result of the material that we're comprised of reacting to the presence of spirit, which is a higher vibration, which is then moving through and infusing everything infinitely inward towards the core, towards the center, towards every atom, and infinitely outward. And so it is, we become, as living souls in this vibratory state, witnesses of the all, witnessing itself doing things, and then coming to determinations as to what it is that we are experiencing. And then that ultimately then is returned upon our death, as our spirit withdraws back into the totality of everything and separates from the body. Then that distillation returns back to the all.